My name's Marcus Setchell.
I'm John Fitzpatrick from Dublin.
He's probably talker. My name is Andrew Etherington.
Oh, it's so good.
Yes! I think it's good.
My name's Alistair Dick. Sorry. Coming through here.
I'm Harley Atkinson from London. Hello.
He's not giving much away.
I'm Simon Carter. 1 foot after the other.
Hey, I'm John Dick. I'm from Wimbledon. More than a little stroll through undulating countryside today.
Hello, I'm Mark Charnock.
It's namaste.
Namaste, like have a nice day.
Hi, I'm Roger Kirby from Hastings.
This is just like Richmond Park on a Sunday morning, isn't it?
Well, I'm Professor Roger Kirby. I'm a urologist, and I was the one that had this crazy idea of going to Nepal.
Look rugged, man!
What we're actually telling people is that we've already summited Everest, and we're now waiting before we do Annapurna.
That's what we've come for, and it's fantastic. The getting there, I'm not so sure about.
We've been doing treks like this over the years. We started off in 2002 climbing up Mount Kilimanjaro, and we were pretty proud that all 14 of us got to the top. One of the climbers on that first trek was Richard Macaire. He came on that trek, Kilimanjaro, because at that stage he had prostate cancer. About 8 years after that, he died of prostate cancer, very sadly, about 18 months ago. So we decided we would do this trek in Nepal in his memory, in aid of Prostate Action, which is obviously a prostate cancer and benign prostate disease charity. We raised altogether £437,000, which is a lot more than I'd anticipated. What we plan to do with that money is fund research into prostate cancer, to use it to educate doctors, particularly training young surgeons how to use latest gear. And then there's a lot of work to do in raising awareness of prostate diseases, because most men hardly know anything about the prostate. They're not even sure where it is. There's a lot of work to do, and to do that you need a lot of money.
Serious hill climb.
I'm a patient of Professor Kirby. The total on the trek, there were 10 of us. There were 2 professors of urology, 4 consultant urologists, 2 consultant gynecologists, and 2 patients, another chap and myself.
We walked all the way up the valley from Johnson to Lo Mantang, which is the capital of this forbidden kingdom. And then we walked on the other side of the valley all the way down back to Johnson. So it's a kind of 2-week trek. Covered about nearly 180 kilometres. Wow. About maybe 28 kilometres a day, up and down and up and down and up. Tiring, but really, really good fun. It takes quite a lot of planning. A lot of that is done for us by the company. You know, we flew first of all to Kathmandu. Marcus managed to miss the aeroplane, which added a new sort of added dimension to it.
Missed the aeroplane, but only by 2 minutes. Did begin to worry a bit because I couldn't. They couldn't think I'd catch you up, because apparently if I didn't catch you up, I couldn't travel alone.
I knew that this was likely to be a tougher trek than any I'd been on. Lengths of the periods that we were going to be climbing uphill and ascending were greater. And of course, the other big difference for me was that this was at high altitude.
We bonded together in a way that we've never done before, because we've never done a 2-week walk before. No. And it is quite an extraordinary experience, really.
And there was nowhere else to go, actually. I mean, we were within the group all the time.
Well, I know I'm laughing, but there is absolutely no reason in the world why I should, because I didn't sleep a wink last night. Also, of course, the resonance of the snoring around the compound was to be marvelled at.
You get up in the morning around 6 and they bring you a nice hot bowl of water to wash in and a hot cup of tea.
We'd all set off walking with 2 or 3 Sherpas walking with us. One would be at the front, would be the pace man, and then Two other guides would be with us. Jigme, who was the main local guide.
If you just pan around there, Marcus, it's just around there, and it is a very, very lovely sight. Interrupted.
Who's that funny man waving his arms?
Jigme, a long line of Gurkhas.
And then Shipton, who was a guide from England.
The redoubtable Mr. John Shipton, explorer extraordinary, who prefers to run.
And then probably one other guide at the back to make sure that the people who didn't make such good progress didn't fall too far behind.
And here, coming up the hill, we see a figure in blue, striding confidently.
Very polite way of saying slow.
Yeah, those are the slow ones, yes, where I was frequently, yeah. And all the people that we go with are pretty experienced trekkers. You know, particularly in the Himalayas, you don't really want novices doing that. It's not that it's dangerous, but you just have to be quite hardy to walk for 2 weeks in the Himalayas.
Well, it's 5 days and 5 nights, one of which was accompanied by a good deal of rain. Not much sleep, lots of walking, but here we are, we made it. Here we are, at the very top. And this is the vista.
This is some staggering scenery, and yes, remarkably, we now are really away from it all, aren't we?
It could be a tough day today. We've got what the Americans would describe as a river walk, where you have to cross a river. The water's going to be up to our waist.
God, swimming even.
We might have to swim, yeah. We're just hoping that none of the team gets swept away. At the moment, they're swept away by enthusiasm.
I have a little concern today about the crossing the river, which I'm sure you do as well. But everything I would suspect will be fine after that.
How do you feel to have completed that?
Strong like a lion.
Jolly good.
Would you mind going back again? I want to photograph you.
A lot of this report actually comes out of humour.
We have come down 750 metres.
How many, John?
750 metres down.
Since we set off this morning?
Well, since the top.
Since the top.
Yeah.
So we walked up 300 or 400 metres just to walk down 700.
Yeah.
Walking into the capital city of Lomantang, it's really not more than a big village, which is where the king of Mustang lives. Seeing that at the end of 5 or 6 days walking, that was amazing to see that spread out in front of us.
They told me that I'd got to make a little speech to him. So I said, I don't know, Your Majesty, whether you've met any of our royal family, to which the answer was no. And I said, well, I'm sure that if they knew we were visiting here, they would wish me to bring their greetings. And I carried on in that vein for a few minutes, and the next thing we noticed, he was asleep. So I got the prize for the most underwhelming conversation.
I think he was meditating, actually.
Nepal is a Hindu country. The mass of the population in this part of Nepal is Buddhist, and there are a lot of Buddhist temples there. These little villages spread out every 5 or 6 miles or so, which we walked between, with lots and lots of temples and monasteries that we visited and walked past and so on, and they were fascinating.
The atmosphere created by the monks when they were chanting, when we sat there, you could fall into seeing the sort of peacefulness of that.
It's sort of trance-like.
Yeah.
Any comment from the great Professor Fitzpatrick?
I'm afraid not, Roger.
So I'm very impressed with an average age of close on 100 of these people. Very impressed.
It was a pleasant stroll.
Yeah.
Undulating countryside.
Wasn't it lovely?
And we've hardly seen anybody, we've hardly seen any cars, we've just seen loads of animals, loads of wonderful sights and loads of wonderful people.
This has been an extraordinary 2 weeks of trekking in the high Himalayas, and the enormity that I think has impressed us all.
I have been hugely privileged to join them in this really exciting trek. Such a good crew, great sense of humour, a lot of laughs. It has been indeed a huge privilege to be on this trek, which has had such a noble purpose. Breathtaking scenery, a wonderful team.
It's almost a decade now of undertaking challenges like this. We've literally been on top of the world here.
I never thought
I would ever be on a trip like this. And I don't think in any other circumstances I would be. It's been absolutely magical.
This would not have happened without Roger Kirby's massive enthusiasm and his persuasion to make people who wouldn't really think it was their natural environment to be clambering and climbing here.
What we've done is special because it was special for us as a group of 10 in a bonding kind of way. It was special because we raised nearly £500,000. And it's special because not all doctors do this on behalf of their patients.
I think it sets a bit of an example. I think it encourages people to think beyond just the narrow confines of medicine, which must always be good. We were also able to give the Nepalese Urological Association £20,000 from the sum of nearly £500,000 raised by the trekkers in order to develop urological services in Nepal.
So I think it was an absolutely incredible trip. As long as I can keep going, I will keep going.
It's terrific, I'm loving it! Ha-ha!
Am I alive? Is this really going on?
Sometimes it ached like anything and you thought, have I got another breath left in me? And really what sustains one is remembering what we're doing it for. This man, this good man, who even beyond death is spreading good.
The point of it was to raise some money for the charity Prostate Action, and we also did this trek in memory of a very wonderful patient of ours called Richard Macaire. Anybody that met Richard would instantly have liked him. He was a wonderful guy. He set up a huge company which is now very, very successful, and he was a massive and very generous supporter and donor to Prostate Action.
We also remembered a colleague of mine, Tim Christmas, who is a famous urological surgeon, perhaps the surgeon of his generation for some diseases, and was also a pioneer in developing prostate cancer surgery in this country 10 to 15 years ago. And he sadly died during the course of this year. We built a chotan, or a little pile of stones at the top of a pass. So we had one for Richard and another for Tim.
In Buddhist tradition, in memory of lost fellows, we create a little pile of rocks, and this particular pile of rocks at this particular spot, not far away from the border to Tibet, at 4,000 feet, is for dear Richard Macaire. A bit like the famous expression from Shakespeare, he died as one well practiced in the art to give away the dearest thing he owed us were a careless trifle. He was a fantastic man, so it was an honour and a privilege to remember him in this way. I just want 1 minute silence now for Richard and for all those who have gone before, like our fathers and our mothers and our grandparents and all the patients we've looked after who didn't make it. So 1 minute silence now, please.